All right. Good evening. I thought I was doing pretty good the last couple times and wasn't super tired, but I kind of realized the last couple days I took the wrong medicine. I wasn't taking my ADHD stuff. I was probably taking my cat's medicine. But at least my liver enzyme's probably good. But last night, uh, it's like my brain would not shut off, and it just kept going. And I could not fall asleep, and then I would like fall asleep, have some weird, bizarrely hyperactive, vivid dream, and then just wake up exactly where my thoughts had left off when I did fall asleep, and completely forget the dream. Other than, and it was like 3 in the morning by the time I actually fell asleep. But once again, I'm tired and exhausted. But anyways, I also accidentally saved over my Final Fantasy Tactics file that I was doing. So, oops, I did end up fighting another Totema, and next time I pick it up, we'll just use the file I overwrote everything with. Yeah, I was trying to use the same name. I learned a lot more exploits than I knew, or than I'd ever known of playing as a kid. So when I was doing it, I ended up saving over the other file. So whoops, erased the game file. My bad. Whatever. Anyways, I found another Berserker. I thought I had finished him off, but there was one more in my tray of unpainted bullshit. That shadow's too strong. A little better? No, that's terrible. Awful lighting. Oh well. But I also have another Grima Wormtongue. I still don't have the Stab and Saruman in the back model, but I got the other ones. And I wish I could zoom in a little more and see it better, but anyways, I figure they're both pretty dark in color, so I don't have to like go over everything a bunch of times, so they should be pretty easy for tonight. I'm trying to remember how I did these though. So grab some colors for the Berserker. Got the Doom Bowl. I'm gonna use Rhinox in both of them. What else did I do for Berserker? Just what's that? Wraithbone for the teeth, I think. My garbage blood belcher. Just love belcher. The dry brush. Grima's pretty creepy. Hey, that's my sister. Don't tell her all the shit we talk about her. Don't let her know. She's the one that I've said all those horrible things about before. Don't let her know I said those things. I'm gonna do Deathcore Drab for Grima's like under robes and black for his robes. It's not the super black. Brown for some of his other stuff, and then he's got like this. I don't know. It's like a mesh on his arms. I think I actually kind of want to do. I'll do Death Guard green for that thing on his arms. And then just paint black around it. I was thinking about how to do his skin. His hair's going to be greasy, so I'm going to use the gloss wash on it. Which I also need for the Berserker. So I need both my black washes. My keyboard's in the way of my paints. Whoops. I don't want to use the green. Maybe I'll do, yeah, the black rings. Where's my blood? Is bloody up the others? Hello. Guess what? That one's my brother. It's a whole family reunion here. Can't get my paint. My paint is stuck. 1 second. Shit. Got it. Blood paint. And he's also got... We'll get some white and black for his eyes, but he's also got that handkerchief holding his blood. His bloodied lip. And for his skin, I want to make him creepy pale. So I don't think I'm going to use the normal skin tone kit. I'm going to make him like pinkish and pale and creepy looking. Let me get my keyboard's back in place. Alright, brushes. Where's garbage brush? Garbage brush. Fat brush. Okay brush. Hello. Alright. So I don't know where to want to start with. Probably the green on Grima. But so this is going to be the Deathcore Drab, and we only need really need such a tiny amount. It's just going to be like his under his robe. He's wearing like 3 robes. Weirdo. There's like his 2 sleeves and this robe in the back, and there's this robe underneath. And let me see what I can figure out. Okay. So I really need just the tiniest little amount for him. There's creepy. Oh, Shan, you're gonna like this one. Did you know that the guy who played Grima Wormtongue is the guy who played Chucky in the Child's Play movies? Did you know that? Remember how much you loved those movies? You loved those movies as a kid. Thank you for the follow. I know where you live. So given that I actually know everybody in stream right now, ATQ, did you know that we were supposed to thin our paints down when we had these as kids? I think I've only ever seen Bride of Chucky. That might actually be the only Chucky movie or Child's Play movie I've ever seen. Turns out we were supposed to thin the paints a little bit so they go on smoother instead of being chunky and looking like garbage as we painted them as kids. Whoops. Who knew? Not us. Am I holding everything right in center? Yeah. I keep moving my camera setup around because it's like lighting issues, and nothing is ever really consistent.
You just had waffles and stuff.
Waffles is here. He wants food. He just had it, but he literally just ate, but he decided he wants more. Waffles, buddy. Kindly fuck off, my boy.
Thunderstorms.
Ooh, tonight? Oh, great. Baby is always hungry.
Got quite the appetite.
He's a shithead, is what him is. He headbutts me in the morning for ham. I just want to get his green because it's kind of the farthest in color for him. Like his other robes cover it, and then his the fur around the neck of his robes covers the regular robes. Some of these models are kind of hard to tell what you're looking at. Not as bad as the resin models. I don't like the resin models. Alright, but that's all the green. I'm sure the camera barely picks that up because it is a dark green. Need to brush up. I was trying to paint a Saruman of many colors, and it well, actually, he's still over. I haven't stripped. Oops, I haven't stripped his paint yet. Where is he? He's not over here. I don't know where the hell I put him. Well, I guess I lost him. He's somewhere. I don't know. Box or something. I don't know. But you couldn't pick any of it up on the camera. It was really interesting. Like, it was all kind of these bright, vibrant iridescence, and then just the camera just looked white. Every once in a while, there was like a purple streak if it shined just correctly. But so while that dries, let's do. There it is. There's the lead belcher. Quick dry brush for the Berserker. I'm pretty sure it's just his helmet and sword. Because I thought I was done with these guys. Maybe these gloves. Does this one have? This is just one of the 3D printed models I got. He's only got he doesn't have any protection on his gloves or his shins, so it's just his helmet and sword. So that's a quick little nothing. I'll gore him up pretty good to make up for his lack of other details. A little bit more. Done. That's probably the least silver I've ever had to use on a model that actually needed it. Waffles is still staring at me. Buddy. No. Alright, his sleeves, he's got like a fishnet on his arms. So I'm gonna put his sleeves underneath that are like a light green, so more green, but I'm just gonna work straight from the pot without diluting it because I'm just gonna push it into the cracks of this, and then I'll do the fishnet over top of it. Also, I think this looks like a paint I may have accidentally thinned earlier in the pot, so the pot's already kind of thin. Whoops. Oh well. I like him in the extended editions because he's just a little. They go a little more into his creepiness and poisoning of Theodred. He just gets to be a little creepier. Still doesn't explain why Theoden trusted him though. Like, no offense, like that's the guy you chose as your advisor? Fishnets, no eyebrows, greasy hair, whole package. Probably sniffs Eowyn's hair while she sleeps, you know. Normal behavior. I have to wonder how Eowyn resisted him. Let's see. Let's do the Berserker skin. So that is the Doombowl Brown. I've had to go through several pots of this just because I have 240 Urukai. Isengard army is massive. Thinned it too much. I'm going to have to double coat it. That's okay. Cat fuzz. Oh, never mind. That's garage fuzz. That's stuck in his primer. Oops. That's what happens when you prime in a dusty garage. Also managed to get an Isengard troll the other day, not too long ago. Not one of the newer kits, but one of the... It's under here somewhere. Is this it? No, that's my ghosts. What's this? There he is. Oh shit, I dropped my ghosts. Frick. Shit. Metal troll. Seems heavy. I think solid pewter. But I finally got an Isengard troll. Am I going to use it? Probably not. Not frequently anyways. They're expensive. Like point-wise. When I can just fill it in with more of these Berserkers. Well, I wonder how the points are going to change when the new edition comes out. My camera's fucked. I gotta slide my camera over so I keep leading out of its range. Yeah, new edition comes out, I don't remember. December-ish? November-ish? With the new War and Rohan movie. Doo-doo. These arms. Little arms, so full of hate. So the new movie's going to be covering the time period when Helm's Deep gets called Helm's Deep. It was just the Hornburg before that. Helm Hammerhand and his daughter Hera? I think they're calling her Hera for the movie. Lore-wise, there isn't like anything really about her. Which is to say, like, there's nothing I don't think she existed. Beyond maybe mention of it. Mention of having one. But there he goes. Need his little fingers. Oops. Got his gloves. That's okay. But yeah, I don't have to take it easy on his hands. I'm going to paint half of it, over half of it again with his gloves, so. Little half gloves. So this is one of the ones I 3D printed. So he's got one of those helmets that was sculpted for a much larger model, so the sculpt turned out really thin. And actually almost peeled off as I tried to pull him out of the printer. But this one mostly made it. His face is a little weird. But I'm going to cover him in enough gore that you're not going to notice it. Missed his shoulder. Yeah, his shoulder's getting covered up by the shadow of the sword every time I move it into view. Alright. Torso's done. Well, not done. It's the first coat. Yeah, it's the right now it's my phone is the face tracking camera because the iPhone's got like pretty good face tracking, and then the desktop. I actually have a better camera, but its mount is different than this camera, so I haven't had a chance to put the better camera up, and I think it would actually all of this would be much clearer. I think. So the model I had to make in many layers and pieces, and basically I made them. I never gave myself legs or arms. The arms I've got right now, they're just JPEGs I made. This one's loincloth broke. His balls are hanging out. Oops. That snapped off. It's got kind of like a underwear kind of impression. Some briefs. So I'm just gonna leave those as like the dark brown leather. So, but the yeah. So the model I've got to fix some parts on. When I say model, I mean my model, me. His legs got these weird stripes in it too. I'm gonna turn those into scars, and we'll just ignore them, cover them in gore. Where this model kept sticking to the kept sticking somewhere on the printing system, and so it's got a few like misprint lines in it. But so the me model, everything's got to like move and rotate and bend and warp just to give the illusion of being almost a 3D shape. At some points it messes up. This is okay, but like this gets a little weird. Oh, it's over here, camera. This was a lot worse before I put like control parameters on it. Like a weird giraffe neck. I was like, oh shit. Not grab enough paint. To his angry little toes. His angry little ankles. Alright, I have to grab just a little bit more. Maybe thin it a little bit. Just a little bit. I shouldn't have thinned it with this brush. That was a mistake. My bad. And gotta do a second coat because even though Doom Bowl's kind of one of the darker browns, it's still shows through. Yeah, I think too much. Getting it on my fingers. Making a mess of all my stuff. Look. And shit. I don't know Twitch's rules on swearing. I don't care. I've seen some of the streams, and I don't think they'd be concerned with swearing. All right, get your nose. Yeah, this is another one where they show the nose. I don't. Looks goofy. It just looks kind of weird having their nose exposed. I do like playing the Berserks, especially the Berserkers. Berserkers are a lot of fun. I guess the new system's gonna introduce an intelligence stat, because they said it didn't make sense for a angry, roided up berserker to be able to figure out where a ring bearer is because of the courage roll. So they're gonna replace some tests with an intelligence test and some with a courage test. Because these guys being pretty insane, we're passing a lot of stuff they probably shouldn't have. But they were a lot of fun going against anyone who brought Army of the Dead. They almost always passed their terror checks. And the ghost, instead of striking against defense, the ghost strike against the courage stat. So these guys have effectively had a defense of 7, which is stupidly high for troops. The definition's not great. Yeah, it's like it's got these creases in it from sticking to the printer, and I don't know what happened. Well, I guess direction. Let me see if I can tell what direction I printed him from. I think I may have printed him from the bottom. Ooh, so like printed upside down. So I think one of his legs stayed attached and it kept disconnecting here and then reconnecting and reattaching. Where's my flaky space? I don't know where that guy is. I tried to print a dead Space Marine to put on my friend's board, and it kept coming off. So he's got like a Tom and Jerry accordion shaped body. And one part of him is like a spread out deck of cards. It's been flayed or something. It's weird. But just an effect of the print going wrong. Mm-hmm. All right, he's done. So while his skin dries, I guess we can do the Corvus black for his robes. It's not quite the darkest black, so it'll still take a shadow. Do we want to do Scavenge Blade? I'll do this one. It's not the darkest black, so it'll still take a shadow or a shade if I put it on it. Actually, it really is more very dark gray. Are some of these in black? Are some of them in a slightly darker black? Flush the paint flusher. $7.30, not bad. Shit, I did it again. Diluted it slightly too much, but then again, it's not a big deal because it's already really dark on his robes. So it's not quite thinning out like the other one did, or like the Berserker skin did. Brush, another wide brush. So let me get in. I'm gonna get in and do the edges of his robes without getting any of the green. My turtle is knocking stuff over in her aquarium. What are you doing, turtle? Stop it. The turtle is very destructive. There are still 2 lizards and a crab, and the algae eater living in there with her. The algae eater is just big. But I was really surprised to see a crab still living in there. We were kind of duped when we bought them. We were told they were freshwater crabs. They're not. They're brackish. So they don't really live great lives, it turns out, when you put them in a freshwater tank. And I really wish we had not been told they were freshwater, because they're not. But I learned that later. But we still have one Chinese red claw crab. Eating all the poop in there. And with the turtle and the algae eater, the crab eats well. Sometimes I find it crawling around up in the trees. It's creepy though. When you take a flashlight and I'll look through like the dark under. I don't say undercarriage. What the hell's the word? Undergrowth of the tank, I guess. The deeper parts under the platforms and the roots and sticks and things. And sometimes just pull the flashlight up and there's the creepy crab staring right at you. His sleeves. Underbelly kind of works. The seedy underbelly of the aquarium. I put 20 minnows in there not too long ago. And I went to the bathroom and I came back and there was like 3 of them left, and Turtle was just chomping away, eating every single one. It's like, well, I got the minnows for her to eat, but I didn't expect her to finish them off that quick. Only one guppy managed to survive her. So it went into the survivor tank. Which the tank itself didn't barely survive. There's got an algae that was real aggressive. But there's some new guppies in there. We're trying to get them to breed so that we can just have a food supply for turtle. What is he holding? I just realized he's holding. Is it a dagger? Shit. Looks like he's got a dagger. I'm gonna have to get some silver paint up in here under his sleeve. That's not at all convenient. That's incredibly inconvenient. Like, thanks for the details in the model, but also, like, why couldn't you have put them in an like accessible spot? I should probably paint the rim here, just because it's not really. So I already kind of did most of his basing. I just had to put grass on it. Just I kind of already had it done. I generally don't know why I pre-did his base. I just don't normally do that with models. And it's thinking about it, it's going to take more material because there's a whole space where he's not standing, or where he's standing that would just be a big flat blanked out area. So I don't know what I was thinking. That's all the hard to reach spots. I did notice I missed a little with the green. I can get it all over his shoe. I haven't painted it yet, so I don't care. Vent brush. Oh, honey, I heard you say the S word. You're swearing. Swearing on my stream? Jesus frickin' Christ. I'm in a heckin' handbasket now. These steps now painting all the dark spots on him. It just looks like I'm repeatedly coating him in black paint. I'm mad at, but I do his hair. Apparently shaving his eyebrows off was his choice he just came up with to make his character look a little creepier. Just a little more unsettling. Alright, before I do the brown, let me see if I can get I need a sacrificial model to test this on. Angry old man. Angry old man will work. His head is metal, so let me see if this works. Flip. Skin tones are really hard. They're really difficult to get right. If you add tan and like it's too thin, color shows through it weird and becomes like green. It just looks so freaking weird and off-putting. It's like, oh, I've made him sick. Oh, I've made this one sunburned. Oh, this guy looks like a corpse. He's got no color. This is a Rohan model that somebody like chopped together with a couple extra pieces and put some guy's head on it. I think that's gotta be like a I think Warhammer Fantasy head, because it's just some regular human head. But I can't think of any metal models for Lord of the Rings that would have come off of. Well, it seems a little slightly big for Lord of the Rings scale. Okay, that's a 3D printed one. That's a bad example. And this is a newer model, and their scale's off, so. I think I'm safe to base Grima with this color. Shit, that one wasn't quite dry. But I think I do need to get a smaller brush to get in. This is the way I've seen some people paint is absolutely insane. Details and the angles and stuff. Such a small model. It's really hard to like. It does appear to actually be an undershirt, whatever. Hoping if I use this lighter skin color and then hit it with the burgundy, it'll make it more reddish, and then when I go over it with the light skin color, the most pale one, it'll give them a more pallid, sickly look. Kind of sick that makes you go, oh, this guy should be in the hospital. That kind of pale. Where's his thumb? What the hell am I looking at? Part of the rag. Is that his thumb? I think that's his thumb there. Yeah, it was. Okay, there it is. Hid that well. Whoops, too wet. To function like a glaze instead of a paint. My bad. Fortunately, with the wet palette, if I make any mistakes, it usually keeps a little dab of the paint wet and ready to be reapplied if I need it. Or I can get in there while it's still wet, thin, and scoop the paint I put in the wrong spot off, which it worked just now. The other side of the old man's face. And hey, if it works on old man's face, I'll just leave him as is. We'll just have an angry pale old Rohirrim man yelling at those damn Uruk-hai and Dunlendings to get off his lawn. To stop burning his family down. A little paint on his forehead. Not his forehead, his hair above his forehead. That's okay. Hair's like always one of the last steps. Here's a pain in the ass. A lot of painting's a pain in the ass, but it's a fun pain in the ass. Alright. Time to test old man face. Oh, that's the blood. That's the wrong one. Wrong red. So this crimson is pretty dark. It's not like a healthy warm red. Oh no, that looks terrible. Oh shit. Oh jeez. No, never mind, we're good. Yeah, it's not a healthy skin tone. I make this guy pale, he's gonna look awful. Alright, up you go, old man. I should probably, yeah, up you go. Alright, so I'll apply this to his face later. I'll probably have to do it before I do his eyes. Alright. Brown. This is the Rhinox hide, and I doubt there's so little paint in this pot anymore. Guys, I don't know if there's even enough. There isn't even like enough to get up on the cap. Yeah, barely anything. That's okay, I got an extra pot. Way too much on my mixing brush. All right, we got shoes, loincloths, belts, and
Please charge now. And that.
the speaker. Shut up, speaker. Our speaker's got a stupid cable that hates it. Oh my, what the hell was that? Oops. Alright, speaker's probably fine. Sometimes the charging cable just is like, no, you're not charging today. Alright, shoe's done. Well, his shoe. I gotta do the Urk shoe. Look at all this fur on his jacket. I don't want to use this brush for that. The brushes will curl when you use the if you keep pushing the tips into stuff. So I use this already wide, shaded up brush. It can get curled up as much as it can. I don't care. It's already ruined. I had to trim this brush so many times. It was probably only like $3. So probably be less effort for me to just buy a bunch of them. Careful not to get paint over his robes. Or his hair.
Two dinners. Yeah.
He had 2 dinners?
2 dinners.
Waffles, you lying son of a bitch.
Complicated little guy.
Father, I crave ham. No. Oh.
Never talk about. Waffles. Doesn't like this food, and I just ordered 3 cases of it.
Oh, he did that thing where he likes the food until you order more of it, and then suddenly he hates it. Yeah. Cats. Such delightful jerks.
It's weight loss though, so it's totally fine for the other boys.
Oh, good, they need it. Pancakes is a hard truth. You had to hear it.
It's true.
It should be able to brown on him. Oh, except just belts. I can use belts after. I'll use the small brush. Alright. Let me do his belts now since I got them. I got the small brush out. Belts aren't too bad depending on how they're sculpted. I don't like the plastic ones. They stand out like too much. Like if they have like a little edge, it's easy to just kind of do the surface and let the shade cover the sides. This belt's actually kind of pronounced, so it means I gotta paint the sides of it. And that's just more risk than it's probably worth. little bit up here under his robe. That way. And I put his freshly painted boot right into my finger and ruined it. Can't tell if that blade is supposed to be drawn. I don't think it is. So hey, you know what? I'm gonna make that scabbard wood and brown. So I don't have to pick out another color. Alright, he's good. Alright. Oh, fuck my elbow. Ow. I just leaned on my elbow the wrong way. That hurt like hell. Alright, sword handle, gloves, and loincloth, and boots. Well, foot wraps. I always hate doing the feet. Do I have to keep wrapping the model around? I think it's because the feet on the plastic models tend to be like where a lot of the sprue stuff gets a little squished in and weird, and yeah, it's a great. I'm seeing it on the Minas Tirith soldiers I'm painting because it's right where like the spruce seal is, not seal, seam. So there's parts where it looks like the edge of armor. I rotate them a little bit more and realize it's not the edge of the armor. But on some models it is. Some sculpts hide it really well, some don't hide it that great. The Uruk-hai do not hide it well around their arms. Fortunately, this paint's dark enough that I really only need the one coat. Alright, loincloth. Dun, 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 dun. Orcs must smell so horrible. Like, I bet everybody stunk. But, like, orcs, God, ugh. Barf. You add just, like, that general medieval filth on everything, and then include blood and guts everywhere. Oh, it's gloves. Might have to double coat his gloves because there's the silver underneath it, so it might show through. Might be light enough to show through the thinned paint, but maybe not. Oops. Losing track of orientation. Here we go. Right. Berserker's good. All right, so we've got fix what I did to his hair. I think he might be ready for. I think they're both ready for the shades. So, start with the Berserker. No, he's gonna start with Grima. Save the gloss for his hair at the end. So, just a null oil will help just darken everything aside from his face. And I'm not going to do the base coats on the thing in his hand. What the hell's in his hand? The handkerchief. Everything else is going to get it. Because his green robes are really dark green, and I already had decently dark green. So this just adds an extra little step and depth to it. I regret putting that on that arm. Whoops. Sort of soak it up. All right. No shade is going on his arms. But you have to get it around his arms. He's going to be a pretty wet model for a while. Should be able to stuff sticking to it. Seems it must have been a pretty dusty model too. My bad. That's on me. I mean, he's only been sitting on my tray of unfinished models for like a year. How much dust could one little guy accumulate? Turns out quite a lot.
He's just staring at me.
Well, you're gonna have to take waffles, and you're gonna have to tell him that there's starving kids in other countries, and then he'll gladly eat it so that they can't get it. So.
Wow.
Oh wait, we're having the opposite problem. It's not that he won't eat his food; it's just he wants more food.
Well, also he's not eating.
Oh, it's both. Two problems. All right, so I gotta. just kind of squish him into here. Let him sit up right there for a second. Ooh, that was way too much. That might be like enough for his whole model. Whoops. Shoes and wraps and butt. It's not the agrax for the rest of the orc. The nice thing about the shades is it really helps like the muscle definition on them.
Ooh, American history on time.
The Berserkers are so simple. That's one thing that's like I've said before, like the Urks are like one of the easiest armies to paint. They're all really consistent, but not in a complex way. Like my Halidrim are all consistent, but they're also very... Their armor's more ornate, their stuff is more patterned. Urks are just like, here's some armor, here's some loincloth and belts, here's some skin, and then you base coat it, and then you just shade it. You're pretty much good. Just like that, this guy's coated, and he's gotta do his teeth and some gore, but otherwise he's done. Oh, I gotta do this gloss on his weapons, but blush the brush wash again, that kind of fun. Now let's get a little of the crimson on Grima's face. So, Wormtongue being, I think, a man of Rohan, I'm pretty sure. His name would be Old English. So the worm in Wormtongue is actually more like Dragon Tongue. Instead of like crawls around in the dirt slimy worm. Like Serpent Dragon. But given that dragons were literally made by the Dark Lord Melkor and it made the eyes into just deep, dark, creepy sockets. Oh, I wish the camera would focus on that. Like, dragons are not like a cool, badass creature in Middle Earth. They're like a terrifying monster creature made literally by like their equivalent of the devil. I keep trying to pull a little off the face, then adding a little too much to the face. There we go. That's got it in the cracks. He kind of looks like very tired Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, so it's not like, Vlad Dracula is named after, it's like Son of the Dragon or something like that. It's more like, oh yeah, this guy's literally evil. Like, Theoden, that's on you. Alright, so these guys are going to take a few seconds to dry, so let me figure out... Oh. My father-in-law approaches. Okay, cool. He's got some ties around, holding like the cloak part. So maybe a little silver. Maybe we'll do like a little dot of something for a gemstone on it, because it does look like there's something to set in there. Yeah, I think when I put the other skin tone on, it's going to be pretty pale and gross. Excuse me. All right. So he's just got teeth and gloss. Let's do, I guess I might be able to get the handkerchief now. It's next to the wet on the hands, but I think it'll be workable. Probably. Mostly. So I'm going to paint that a tan, whatever this is. I think it's Wraithbone. It's the darkest shade for it. Peach. Gotta get real close, but he's also... I'm also using a squishy thing to hold him, so it's not too steady. So I gotta paint the irises on his models, and I'm always like, just how did you do that? What microscopic contraption did you use to paint the irises on your models? I think it may have just started raining. I have a hard enough time getting eye shapes in the right direction. Normally I would try to make this a little smoother, but I think having working with the paint right out of the pot is making it a little thick and not as smooth, which I think is making it look more like fabric. He slipped off of his butt plug. His robes are almost dry now. So this might be 2 smaller brushes because let's get this guy's teeth. We're just gonna do a few dots, and now he's got teeth. I actually think I got his cheek with one of those, but he's one of like so many Berserkers I have.
But you're not getting anything else.
Cat, no more food.
This little guy.
Now comes the fun part. Eyeballs. Thanks to Berserker's helmet, I don't care about his. But Grima's got really shifty eyes. I got his. You know what? I don't know the name of that part of the face. The bridge of the nose, right between the eyebrows. Slipping off the holder. See if this works. Not quite. Still out of focus. But I'm sure there's probably desktop setups I can get a hold of, but I guess I probably should work on trying to get that other camera up and in place of this one. Alright, eyeballs. Let's make him looking to the side. That's one pupil. That's kind of in there okay-ish. And that is his whole eyeball black. Whoops. Ooh. Did you steal me a leprechaun? That is both of his eyes all black, man. I messed that up. Alright, let's go ahead. It's such a small brush. I can even see the tip. You can barely see the tip on camera. And working with a dark color really like screws up your depth perception with it. So it's easier to correct in with what maybe. Yeah, that looks okay. Grima doesn't have any eyebrow. Oh, you said eye patches. I think you said eyebrows. I said eyebrows. I was like, no, Grima doesn't have any eyebrows. It's this whole creepiness factor. Why won't the paint go on? Also, another problem with working a brush, it dries like before I can actually even touch the model with it. Shut up, Waffles. Oh, Waffles is right here. Who's yelling? Hi, Waffles. I'm so sorry, Waffles. I did not mean to accuse you. The Muppet versions are always the best versions of stories. Ooh, ow, I just found something weird in my ear. What the fuck? Anyways, I'll check that out later. Alright, his eyes are good, so I'm gonna put that brush away. The brush is so small, it's either been like eyes or even like the thinnest, very, very, very thinnest of line works. Oh, I left that paint open. Alright, so how are these guys looking? They're almost dry. So since he's almost dry, let me put the... You know what? I just realized I actually could have done his gloss at the same time. That's not bad. Grunge him up a bit. Oh, I forgot they did a Wizard of Oz one. Yeah, that's one I can see that would be a lot harder to like really improve on. This really hurts. Yeah. He just needs gore. Well, they both need a little blood, so I'll just get the blood freehand. Stupid eyebrow. I did still need the black for the lace on his arm. Need my other, almost a small brush. Alright, alright. I guess I either have to do... I think it would mostly be detail stuff with him now. Like, okay, here's some white for the handkerchief. But only on the raised parts. That way, oops. Well, he's dry now, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Still just on the raised parts of the handkerchief. That way, that tan color gives from earlier gives it a little depth and shadow. On, I hear your Minecraft cats. You can hear your Minecraft cats.
You can't have reasons. Basement.
A little bit on these back hard to reach areas. Alright, he's got a little bit bundled up over his hand. Can't believe this is the guy that kills Saruman. If the hobbits were just like, hey man, listen, I know you just killed a bunch of us and burned down a lot of the Shire, but can you, like, just chill and go? Saruman's walking away before he gets stabbed by Grima. Spoiler, Saruman dies. Kind of. He actually can't die. He's immortal. He can be reduced to pretty much nothing, though. Elves can die, but they just come back. I'm going to take one of these other grays I have, and I'm going to use that as the... It's not... It's green. What am I doing? What the hell? There it is. I'm going to use that on the ties, because I can barely see them. But I just want them to stand out a little bit, but not be too different. Small brush time. No. Larger brush time, and I'm just gonna a little bit on there. Very dry. Here we go. We do this just right. Oh, I'm not gonna this up. Oh, this is a mistake, but it's working out okay so far. I have not screwed this up. Oof. All right, cool. That was close. Let's do his dagger and his belt buckle. One second. Hey, hon. Take a look at my ear.
My what?
Take a look at my ear real quick. Just like between here and here. Can you feel the edge of my ear?
There's something there.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, it's like a little bump. Yeah, it's a little bump.
What kind of bump?
Pimple bump?
It isn't the silver.
It what?
Here's the silver. Here it is. Right. And let's get the... Oh, shit. Which one's it? This one? This one. So we've got a little belt buckle. But they all... I mentioned this before. Everybody's wearing these belts that are like 3 feet too long. Then they just like tie them in a knot. It looks like a brooch. I think it's a brooch. Right, the dagger. Right, the dagger. The dagger for Theodred. The dagger exclusively meant to kill Theodred. That dagger? There we go. That was difficult to get up in there. Alright, this next part's not going to be fun. I gotta do the fishnets on his arms. Ow, what is going on with my ear? Have you ever seen the original casting choices for Lord of the Rings? Like, weird. Sean Connery was one of the first picks for Gandalf. Nicolas Cage was one of the first picks for Aragorn. I'm pretty sure Lord of the Rings was Orlando Bloom's first movie. Yeah. Can you imagine him smoking Aragorn? Shut up, speaker. And since he was younger too, so it's like sometimes you get, somebody's first movie, but they've been in the industry a while, like Christopher Waltz in Glorious Bastards. I think it was his first movie, but he had already done like theater and stuff for a long time. And then his first movie, he wins an Oscar. I think Orlando Bloom was like much newer to it because he was a lot younger. All right, fishnets. So I can oh, I don't like this. All right, all right, all right. So this is where you actually get a larger brush. And you very carefully drag it like completely horizontally over the surface. And because it's longer bristles, they bridge the gap. They don't fuck, this is tough. Shit, I messed it up. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit. This is the brush I'm mad at. Because it's doing that fucking thing it does. This thing like absorbs paint and then just does not release it. And it's very frustrating because the paint doesn't seem to go anywhere. It seems to disappear. Fucking Bermuda Triangle bullshit brush. I have not seen that. Well, I should say I haven't seen it. I hadn't even heard of that movie. What is it about? Alright, at this point, it may be easier for me to just kind of shittily do it and then use a smaller brush to actually paint inside the fishnet texture. Because this brush is really fucking everything up. But it's super hard to pinpoint why it's doing it. Like, it's it's a smooth brush. It's not like rough and messed up or anything. It's just for whatever reason, it's just a terrible brush. Oh, I mixed up my brush cleaners the other day and put one of them right into the acetone and it started melting the bristles. And yet here on this side of his arm, it's working fine. Oh, I said that and then I immediately fucked up. So, hey, at least the brush is horrible and consistent. That side doesn't look too bad. Side is going to need quite a touch-up. Oops. Well, that'll be a little fixer-up step. Get back in there. I think it's just his skin and the touch-up. Alright, I don't have to use a small brush to do some of this. Alright, where is that paint? Did I put it away already? I did. Yeah. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna put every single dot into his fishnets now. Cleaning up okay-ish. Not great, but oh, 49. It's not so bad. Yeah, it's okay. I kind of messed up his arm a little bit. But I'm fixing it. It's okay. It's turn another rate.
First you don't succeed,
Give up.
just fix the bot.
First, you don't succeed. Quit. You were never meant to be good at it. Get out of here. I'm gonna wait and let his arm dry. You can't see it, but I've crossed my elbows and I've crossed my arms, and I'm very mad. Alright, got a new container of mud. Right? New-ish container of mud. Is this the old one? No, it's yeah, this is the old one. We'll wait for that. Let's mud up the Urukai base. Just doing one, so. Doing one guy is easy. Doing a few guys is easy. Doing 20 guys is a pain in the ass with this. But my record is 36 in a day, and it was horrible. My hands hurt so much. Like, several days after. But I like the mud goo. Does a good job for the Urukai. So I've done all of my Urukai either as the scouts running around on one hand with like the grass and the fall leaves on their bases, or as Assault on Helm's Deep, all out in a muddy, trampled field. Hey, you want to know another fun Urukai fact? So let me get the mud on here. There we go. I'll dry up all crusty and lumpy. Urukai in the movies are not the same as the Urukai in the books. In the books, the Urukai are just a higher rank of orc. They're all Uruks. That's just their word for themselves. And Snagas are the slave caste. Uruks are the regular caste, the warrior caste. But the Urukai are just larger, bigger, tougher orcs. In the movies, what we see called the Urukai are actually half-orcs. The half-orcs army. And Saruman breeds them exactly how you fear he did. They were not made in a mud pit. Now you're thinking about human and orc sex. Gross. No, I said it. You were thinking about it. I used the words and you conjured the images in your mind. That's how humans work. We share information with each other that way and help pass knowledge on to our species. For better or worse. In this case, for worse. Now you know this horrible knowledge of these creatures. I verbally passed it on to you, and then your perverted imagination took over. You're wondering who was breeding with the orcs? Well, there's a reason why Grima's dressed in fishnets. Mm-hmm. If you put a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns into the water, it'll light up the water.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I just used them all up. That's such a good idea, though. So bright more pumpkins.
I think that should help stop them from spawning, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what the light levels are in water. But typically, I think other than slimes, like nothing can spawn if the light is anything other than 0. Or nighttime. Alright, a little bit up here on his hand. Alright, I think I've gotten his fishnets as unshitty as I can. It's really quite terrible. Another dot or two I can get in there. Good texture. I'm giving up on that. I think it's good enough. I had to use the stupid brush that absorbs the paint instead of actually being a brush. But I still have a tiny brush here because it's time to do his creepy pallid face. I don't think enough water is on this. Can't get my fingers under it. Ah, there we go. Let's go. It's supposed to be a little wetter, but probably gonna toss the paper after this set, actually. I just don't like it moldy once. That was a bad fuck up. Alright. Creepy pale skin. Brush hooked already. Really only need just the tiniest bit of moisture for it. There's a bubble on the end, which is actually helping me mix it. There we go. There it is. All my brush handles look the same. Yeah, it's getting a real nice pallid flesh kind of color. It's kind of the thing I said earlier, where if the color doesn't quite go on, the skin tone doesn't go on quite like thick enough, it becomes semi-translucent. It really messes with the color, but it's actually working in this case. And by working, I mean being sick and gross, but that's what I need it to be. So if this was just like a regular person, that would be look awful. Like, oh god, what is wrong with you? Bristles need to stop hooking the way they do. I gotta get some new fine brushes. Here's the fun part. Eyebrows. When I do the eyebrows, I always try to get the upper lids at the same time, because it kind of helps if I've gone and smushed the eyes in too big. Yeah, look at this guy. This guy's turning out creepy. Perfect. Bridge of the nose. Creepy pallid cheekbone. Oh, he must have died sometime during the night. Maybe it's all that poison you gave him. Yeah, there's a creepy pale dude. We'll try to do a couple of touch-ups on his hands. Thumb over here. And around his fingers, the fishnet sleevey things are actually held on by like loops that go up to his hand. Those little loops. I said, let me get those little loops.
Oh my
Right.
God. Yeah. I think you got it right. You were way off. Why is that?
Oh wow, my wet palette is actually really dry. I got a little bit of the skin. It's washcloth. It's washcloth, his handkerchief, whatever it is. It's mopping up the blood from being punched in the face and thrown down the stairs. I see a little bit more. Yeah, this is really dry. My bad. Corvus, yeah, I did Corvus for his hair. I see a little bit more on his, where like I got his face paints onto his hair. Right. I did end up painting two of his fingers together. So I just need a tiny dot of the Carbro Crimson. Real tiny, just to go right in here and separate the fingers back out. I just noticed I did the opposite problem with these two knuckles over here, where I didn't join them together. There. There we go. So, and with that, I can put some of the gloss on him to make his hair look all sweaty and greasy. Very long gloss. Get out of here, dust. All right. Let's see. I don't want to do red on his brooch. I do have some other weird technical paints that I've actually never used before, because I thought, oh, these are neat, and then never really considered that I'm never going to be using them in Lord of the Rings. Glowy hex flame. That might make it look like an emerald. That's what I got. Lilac oxide. Well, I don't want it to look. I do want to shake this up so it doesn't settle too much. But I don't want to make it look like Berserkers. Wee tiny little dot on there. And that gave it a greenish hint, but did not make it look like an emerald. That kind of makes it look like an emerald. And it'll dry shiny, I hope. Flesh tones are done. Your old man is... he's fine. I'll use Angry Old Man for a few other tests, and then he'll just... eventually I'll just finish the rest of it, and he'll just be done. Alright, done with the Corvus, done with the Abaddon, done Going the white. I did need to leave something out for my Spirit guys, though, that I just put on. Brown's done. Guess that's all the goops. Let's add a little bit of blood. Oh, I still need blood. This is almost dry. Blood for the blood god. Fun paint.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, hun?
I just realized what it is. It's a the zombie with the
Trident zombie?
yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
I didn't see him.
Were you able to hear like the clinking sound?
Yeah. What is going on?
And we've been in the area a long time. That's like a thing. Come here.
I wish I could see
It's
what
like picking a scab. Come here. Alright. So I just want a little bit for Grima, a real tiny bit. I can kind of just put on his handkerchief and kind of pat away a little bit to make it look like it's kind of absorbing into it. And a little bit on the side of his lip.
baby zombie?
Could be. Baby zombies are a pain in the ass. And gore for this guy. I did not get enough gore for this guy. Is that what has the trident? Oh yeah, I encountered one of those. They're a pain in the. They're fucking awful.
Goodness.
Goopy, bloody. We're gonna splatter some blood on him to help hide the parts of him that turned out shitty. So he's gonna be just drenched in gore. Because if you're going to be a crazy bloodthirsty Uruk-hai, you gotta be crazy and covered in blood. We got his wound. Kicking on pretty thick on his wound. I'm going to pat it off so it doesn't get on the top of it. That way it does look a lot more like, hey, it's coming from him. This is his blood. I'm gonna make him really goopy. Alright. Goopy. This is a little harder to clean out with a brush, so give it a good swiping. He also needs a magnet, and I gotta get Grima onto his base. Right, he's covered in gore, right. Sticky. Duh. Alright, shit, I think my glue is starting to go bad. It's getting stringy. Ooh, yeah, it's not closing all the way. Alright, let's get this guy. His base already has magnet. Let's get him on, like... but they ought to be fine. I shouldn't have done the goo on his base yet, I don't think. He's not sitting quite flat, so I don't know how great he's going to adhere to it. He's not adhering to it at all. Look at that. He's all wobbly. Anyways, maybe he'll do better in a few seconds. The Berserker is almost finished too. Just rim his base. That sounds dirty. Right, pointed stick. Trusty pointy stick. Blood for the Blood God dries pretty quick. Oh, I didn't realize these were actually different browns. I assumed they were the same, but I guess I always coat one of them with the shade before I paint the rims. But I didn't realize they're actually different colors. I should probably toss this pot. I just could add a little water to it. It gets to a point where it's like, oh, am I saving money or am I just using a shitty glob of crap that I should have just replaced? So I could water it. It is pretty thick, so I could water it down a little and have a bit more paint. But if I water it down too much, it's gonna be a shitty paint. If I don't water it down enough, like I can't really mix it too well. Now, I don't normally do the bases on stream, really. But since as soon as that bit there dries, I can do the final step of his, and this is already done. I just gotta add the grass, so maybe that real quick. Where's the super glue? So I just twisted it too much. Alright. At least I found a consistent super glue. Stick is all gooey. Alright, let's get some regular ass glue. And some grass. Let me grab my Saruman's real quick. I want to see what I did for their bases. Just so they match, so they're consistent. So for the grass, I guess I used some of the lighter green tufts. And this one's on a pony. Okay, I did use some of the white flowers. His base is pretty small, so maybe I won't do. Yeah, I'll just use a single tuft and then grass. on. There we go. That should be more than enough. It's too much glue, but I don't care. Alright, since I already have one of him like in Orthanc, I'm just gonna do this one like he's on the side of a trail. So I've done a handful of different bases for my Sarumans. Got an Orthanc, you know, the black and white marbling for the floor. Black marble with like the white veins. Got just, you know, these open field ones. Stick, damn it. And then I think I did a base or two. I literally just pulled them out so I could check this. So I don't have to wonder about this. I can literally just look at it. Share this on stuff. How big of a spot did I leave? I like this one. This one would be just the right size. Doesn't take much to make a base look pretty good. I didn't even need the lava glue. I just needed whatever came out on the bottom. But I think he's just about dry enough that I should safely be able to put the gloss on. And this is just another set of the null oil gloss that comes out pretty muddy and goopy looking. Fills in all the recesses and then leaves everything shiny, so. Oh, this isn't my normal brush for bases. Oh, I melted my other one though, so. Yeah, it's a bit crispy. Incompatible solvents. And not all of the Urks did I put the plants on, so I'm not going to put it on his. Because I'm pretty sure I'm out of those plants that I was using before, but easy fix to go get more. I just don't feel like taking the time yet. But there we go.
Ron Perlman.
What about Ron Perlman?
I'm watching a thing called Masters of Horror.
Oh.
And this episode has John Carpenter, whatever, and Ron Perlman.
He's in the next Alien movies. We haven't watched. Yeah. Because we only watched the. What did we watch? We watched Alien and we watched Prometheus and we're halfway through Alien Covenant. And then I think Aliens. I think that's the one he's in. Is the sequel to Alien.
Is John Carpenter involved in Alien too?
He might have been.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Yeah, he did The Thing. He's done a handful of others.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say James Cameron was the director for Alien movies.
Mm.
And John Carpenter was a lot of the effects, I think. HR Giger did the designs. I think Carpenter was the one doing a lot of the effects. All right, but we've now finished another gory Urukai Berserker and my last Grima until I get the one where he's crawling on the ground and stabbing Saruman in the back. Well, that did kind of, it does look like a little kind of shiny emerald in there. Now that you can see it with this camera, I really have to get around to updating my camera or upgrading. But I have the right solvent this time. I'm pretty sure this is the acetone. Yeah, right. Yeah. Waft it, don't sniff it directly, my bad. This is the isopropanol. But that should knock out my Isengard forces for now. I think the only two Isengard models I don't have, I guess the Krebane count as Dunland. The only two I don't have are the Sharky version of Saruman and the stabbing him in the back Grima. I guess I could count. I don't know. Saruman's got a lot of. He's in a lot of shit. So he's a good guy in the Hobbit army. He's a bad guy in the Lord of the Rings ones. Do have Dunland. Got a whole Dunland force I gotta paint up. I think once I finish these Minas Tirith guys. No, I gotta stick with like keeping one army consistent because the Minas Tirith guys, that's 100 troops. I'm most of the way through that number. No, that's not true. I'm halfway through half of that number, and I have a chunk of the remaining half done. So like a quarter's done, half of it is in progress, and then the other quarter I haven't touched yet because there's too many of them. And they're all the same, and I hate it. I hate painting similar models repeatedly, but my dumbass started half of them, and then forgot I had all these unstarted Dunlandings sitting here on my desk. Because they're very out of sight, out of mind. They're like in a box. They're in a Tupperware.
I'm doing it to all the points.
Alright, let's get these brushes away. Great, then I can add it to the pile of all the other ones I just didn't do. Oh look at all these Moria goblins. Did I do them? No. I think I... What the fuck was that? My dad. I stood up out of my chair and it like released the, the pressure thing under your butt. The spring. Snagged my work table and launched some stuff. I'm missing one of my covers. As long as I protect the small ones. I guess this one, I only ever use this one for washes, so I guess it doesn't have to be protected. You need me to spook waffles. Okay, let me just...
In a spooky mood.
Oh! Don't mind me, just bullying my cat. Oh, waffles. It's got ear yeast. It's getting treated for, and I'm gonna kidnap him 1 second. Let me Get these brushes away. I'll steal waffles. Well, then he shouldn't bite me. It's his fault. He deserves the bullying for biting me. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, come here. Come here, buddy. Don't you run from me.
You can start one of those sponsoring things where viewers can buy Waffles cat food.
Hi, buddy.
Kind of like.
My boy. Where's my boy? How's old man Waffles? Are you old? You old? No, I want to pet your face. I want to pet your face. He's turning 14 soon. No. I give him punches for you.
Whoa, you're right about the jack-o'-lantern.
Huh?
Oh.
They stay lit underwater.
Yeah.
I thought you said I was right above the jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh.
I was like, how am I in the game if I'm not logged in? Do you love your violence, buddy? Waffles, do you want to go? No. He's my boy. Alright. It's about 9:30. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna pack up. Alright. Buzzy. Yep. We picked him up in 2010. And he's been our stupid, violent asshole ever since. We love his violence. Except when he does it to the other cats, then he's just an asshole.
We need to make a cash app or something for Waffles.
Yeah, he doesn't bite our faces to wake us up like he did you. Instead, he just, like, walks uncomfortably around our feet at night. Wake us up. Overheats our legs. My gold, that's my blue. Paint, paint, paint. Ooh. That side, that's weird. Really weird. That side got soggy. Yep. Oh, look. This side stayed wet. This side, like, dried out while I was working over it. Okay. Well, anyways. I'm done with that sheet, so I'll let this dry out completely in between. I'm about ready to call it a night. Alright. So streaming again on Thursday, I think. That's the current plan. There's the plan at this current second. It may not be that later. I just threw the archive. So there we go. Don't know if I'll paint. Don't know if I'll do some Final Fantasy tactics. Shan, do you want to play some Crystal Chronicles sometime soon? Because we can. All right. I'll let you know. I'm playing. I haven't checked to see if it's on the Game Boy system on the Switch. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance again. But now I actually know what I'm doing instead of slogging through stuff and winging it, being a 12-year-old and not really metagaming and to any extent of really figuring stuff out. But yeah, I'll let you know one time we can play. Maybe we can play Thursday. It's the sequel. Oh, I realized I don't have the webcam on anymore. You can't see my hands. Air quotes. Sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics, which is a little. They're like not quite related. They take place in the same setting ish as Final Fantasy 12. Some Final Fantasies have like shared worlds, some don't. But it's turn based, but not like the normal like you've got a 4-member party. I need hand gestures. It's not like the normal like, oh, here's your monsters, and then here's your 4-member party here in the front attacking the monsters. It's isometric, grid down, that's right. Looking at a map, and you move the units like across and around the map to get better angles and strikes on people. I did stream the first chunk, but I saved over what would have been the second chunk, so now I got the third of the 5 or 6 chunks. But I've found a few exploits, and I'm turning myself into an asshole in the game, and it's great. Because I've got 2 thieves, and they just run up, and the first thing I do is I steal everybody's weapons, and it's like, oh, what's that? You were going to do 60 damage when you hit me, now you're only doing 4. Now I'm going to slowly steal your abilities, too. I just take them, and they unlearn them, and I learn them, and I've only defeated like the second main boss. It's fun. Stealing is fun. I like stealing. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna pack it in and call it a night. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate it. It's much easier to keep going when I can like interact with chat and stuff. Otherwise, it's just me rambling to myself like a madman. But anyways, thanks for tuning in tonight. It was a big help. But I'm gonna call tonight. So where is my button? All right. So good night. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you guys later. I'll reach out about playing Crystal Chronicles. Because we literally just started, so like it's not like we got far. We did like 1 or 2 areas. I don't think we even completed our first year, which is just like you get 3 drops of the mirror. But that's another game I think I played enough to have most of it memorized. But anyways, I'm packing up, heading to bed. But have a good night, you guys.
Good night.
Dr. Wife says good night. I'll see you later. Good night.